where the trouble was.
Okay.
Well, now we got, there's 13 of us. Cause we take Glennie as a brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed my life. My grandfather, I want you younger folks to hear this. My grandfather, William Cain, I used to do some weeding for him, and he did everything, he did a lot of planting and stuff like that. So he loved cucumbers and stuff like that, eh? And he had a nice cucumber into the garden, so I picked the cucumber, wiped it off, and I started eating it, eh? So he says, where did you get the cucumber from? I said, off the garden. He said, which hand did you take it up? I said, this hand. Give it here. He took a stick that long, and he bit on it, and he beat me, and beat it. That my hand went like this. So he said, now you take that hand over there and show it to your father. I would not do it. I put my hand in here. I said, if I show him to Daddy, I'm going to get another beating. So I had to keep my hand hid. Mama said, well, what's wrong with your arm? I said, I fell down. I wouldn't tell my Papa Cain did it. I don't know. But he wouldn't tell him, and I didn't tell him. So Papa Cain, I'm going to tell you something about you fellows, that for stealing. Now, I went down to Sobeys, and with a package of gum, and I wanted gum so bad, I didn't have no money.
Sobeys wasn't around.
And I looked at thought about what Papa Cain did to me for stealing that cucumber. I put it back. And I never ever stole anything ever in my life. And I was only a little boy, about 10, 11 years old. So I says, I had a good life. But the main thing is that all those old men backing up home, like all the Beale family, started from Edward Beale, old man Edward Beale, and Ernie Beale. He worked with me. I used to drive him, and he would always make me fix my clothes on, make me, don't you go out looking half naked or looking bad. Ernie Beale, that was a good man. And him and I would work. He said, you like your father, you always fixing up on your clothes. Make sure you fix my clothes, Dad. He tell Ernie Beale, that guy's full of shit. I said, Ernie Beale, and he was like that, eh? But I'll tell you the truth, really seriously, and I get down Downeytown, where my grandmother was. There were seven Downey guys. But I keep asking when going through the ICAR, trying to find out the relationship of Uncle Peter Downey's family and the Downey down the road, but nobody seemed to put nothing together. But I think myself was that Uncle Peter Downey's family his name was old Edward Downey. Uncle Peter was named after him. Edward Downey, and I think he was a brother to old Downey down there. But I'm not ignorant, seriously. But I'm getting down to Grandmother Louise. She was married to my grandfather. She was a pure Indian. High cheekbone, tall, lanky. Oh, she was a sweetheart, man. She taught us everything that we know. Everything.
You know the hair. You and your brother Buddy.
Yeah.
Got that hair.
She had the real stuff. I don't got the same stuff. But I want the younger kids to know this about how you treat old people, man. Honest to God, I traveled around and I got drunk. But when an old man or old woman spoke to me, I said, yes, sir. No, ma'am, yes. But I wish some of my little grandchildren would hear this. But I say you now, people talk in North Preston, one of the best people in North Preston. The best people that in North Preston, they say, North Preston ain't no good. You can't find people any kinder than people at home. I'm serious. Now, I got to get back down to growing up. Like I was growing, I used to drink heavy, real heavy.
So tell us a little bit about when you were a young fellow in junior school, and how you got to school in the wintertime. What did you have to do in the wintertime? Did you have to shovel? Did you have to put a stove? Did you have to put wood in the stove?
Oh yeah, we shovel. When you get out, we have a 2-story house, and you look up the upstairs window. You could crawl up to get upstairs window, and right on top of the snow. And then they would start to shovel, and they start from the Cains, and they would shovel all the way out, and there was always a big snowstorm up around at the Peter Gate. Always big, heavy.
My grandfather.
Yeah, around
Okay.
and they start from the Cain up to the Simmons, the Simmons, and they go to the Smith, and the Smith is up to the Downing.
And who did all that shoveling?
The people in the community, the men down on the street. And if they didn't, they go to jail for 31 days. Uncle Tom Beal he was the county council constable. I'm telling you. And he was the county constable. Like he would knock on your door and said, it's snowing, you know, we got the shovel. Daddy's home, so I can't go there. Well, then you better get yourself ready to go in jail. 31 days to stay in. And we would be traveling behind them, old men shoveling snow and stuff like that. Friday got up by Mommy up by the corner, and Dad told you, okay guys, get back. You can't go nowhere. So that they had to shovel from up home right up to the main highway, number 7 highway. I'm telling you, and there was no tractors or trailers or nothing.
City didn't come in to help?
No, they have to shovel everything right straight through. And you met a car coming over that road. You have to, not a car. There wasn't no cars.
Horse.
There were horse and wagon, and they had to stop and let the car truck go. One car go. Let the one horse team go by. But I tell you seriously, I got to tell you a little bit. My school days, like really, mostly my school friends, like most of the Downies, Monica, Divina. Chester, and
Maxine.
No, Buddy.
Yeah.
And Gordon was he's young, but he was younger, but he was also, and he was smart. But I tell you, I got put out of school. I was in grade 8. I got to grade 8, and I got put out of school. I didn't want to go. Daddy said, "Now you got to go to work." I went down to. But I tell you, I was blessed. I got a job down at, it says that you're bringing the men down with the unemployment insurance book. Now, there must have been a place as big as this, and the place was packed, solid, white and black. And honest to God, I'm serious, like, there must have been about 200 men, at least. Dad was there, and the guy that was looking at this stuff, he said, "You in the green sweater, did you come up?" And I said, "Yes, you." I couldn't get over it, but the Father had blessed me. So that's why I always talk to the younger people to be good. The Lord has been so good to me. While I'm talking about that, I got to go on this other piece too, that I got drunk. Like old man, Mr. Smith, old Alex Smith. And he said, "Brother, I love to go to church here, but I went to watch the old year out and the new year come in. This is January." Oh, honest, you saw, they had the Simmons boys walk me home. I got down by the Simmons gate, and I got everything, it was moonlight, but it got very dark. So I got on a knee and a foot, and I just said, "Lord, help me, I cannot make it." I laid in the snow, cold, and I heard a voice. Didn't call me Wylie, called me Wylie, like my family called me. Called me, Preston called me. And I sat down. I said, "Someone called me." And it was like an echo. "Wylie, wake up!" That's the second one. I said, oh my God, who was that calling me? I'm not drinking too much, not sober, the judge. And the third time was loud, but it wasn't like beside me, it was like an echo. I got up and started walking home. Who was that walking home? Who was that calling me up? I never thought it was the problem. I hadn't seen somebody seen me and didn't want me to see them. And I'm walking home, and I got down to my cousin Kate Arlene. I got drunk all over. I got scared. But mister, I tell you, that was the Father in heaven. And that's where I live. I hit the door, and Arlene opened the door, and that's where I live. But I often thought about that. And it followed me. I said, let's get to Toronto. I said, Lord, let me take back home don't let me take back home what I brought back up to Toronto. I'm working there, so anyway, I wanted this job. Marilyn could tell you this, but I wanted this job with the government, but I knew I didn't have grade 10. So I said, I can't get a job in this. John Dean seen me down, he was parked into the driveway I was working. He said, well, how would you like to go to work for the government? I thought, I'd love to go to work for the government. I said, but I wouldn't tell him that I didn't have grade 10. I said, when can I make a resume? A resume? He said, you don't need a resume. All you need to do, come up to the 6th floor and put your hand on the Bible. Right hand on the Bible and swear that who you are. And I've worked at the government for 31 years.
In Toronto?
In Toronto. So I tell you, guys, this was the precious Lord and Savior. So man, I'm telling you, whatever you do, always keep your Father in heaven at hand, because I'm telling you, I did not want for nothing. In Toronto, and I had a resume to work into the Pepsi Cola place, and you know what I did? Anyone common sense. Before I made it, but I put it. I bonded. I said no. Now it wasn't for me to get that job. It was for me to work with the government.
Yeah, the province.
I had it good. And then I got the job with the government, and I got most of my family, and they was. Merle can tell you about that. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything that we did.
And how many years were you in Toronto? You had a home in Toronto?
I was in Toronto from 1963 up until.
You moved here back to Nova Scotia?
Up till 1994.
Yeah.
About close to 35, 40 years, something like that. But honest to God, I don't know. I just keep telling younger people how I was, like really. And how the Lord taking the liquor away from beer and stuff away from me. But I can't tell you too much more than that, really. Not unless you want me to tell you about
Grandma Louise.
Not much I can tell you about Grandma Louise. The only tell you about Grandma Louise that.
Who was she? Was she an Indian? Was she?
She was a pure Indian.
Talk. Right.
She was a pure Indian. Grandma Louise was, and her brother was an Indian.
Okay, what kind of Indian was they?
Negative.
Mi'kmaq?
Yeah.
Mi'kmaq Indian.
Yeah, really.
That's what I want
And
to
we had Indian on both sides. My grandfather, Papa Cain, father was an Indian.
Mm.
He was an Indian.
Say Mi'kmaq.
Mi'kmaq. Yeah.
Who was her brother? Who was he?
Who?
Grandma Louise's brother.
Joe Beal.
Joe who?
Joe Beal. And Joe Beal, and he was Grandmother Sage. He was Grandma Louise's brother, and he was Grandmother Sage, first cousin.
Is he the guy that
Huh?
stole the ox?
Who?
Joe Beal.
Yeah, he sold an ox, and he had to move up because, and he named himself Beal. Oh, that Beal is a big name.
Mm-hmm.
But what was his name when he came back?
Huh?
What
When
was
he
his
come
name?
back, he would name himself Simmons.
Changed his name.
Yeah.
The little city was all Beals.
And they was all Indian, Micmac. They was all Indian. Ain't that called?
No.
I'm not kidding you. They was all Micmac, like all the Simmons. No, it wasn't no. It wasn't. It's all Beals. And my grandmother, we were the Beals, and she married a Downian. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, how did people get into town?
How were they like?
How did they get into town?
And
From
horse
north?
and wagon. And my grandmother, Mama Cain, she would heat up the brick in the stove, and she would put those brick into the wagon, horse and wagon, and keep her feet warm. And Daddy would go. Daddy had a truck. Daddy had a truck. He would stop on the road and pick Mama Cain into the truck. And Papa Cain would go all by himself. I'm not kidding you. I know a lot about that stuff.
And do you recall who had the first car up in North Preston?
First car?
Mm-hmm.
The truck.
Truck or car?
Old man Clarence Johnson. Clarence Johnson. Peter Downey was the second. Peter I. Downey was the second one. He had an old truck. He had an old Ford truck, and you could hear that truck up where we live coming up over Stooping Hill. They were whining. We call it moaning. Yeah, oh yeah. Carl used to drive it home, because Peter couldn't drive. Carl used to drive. And the first man that bought a new truck was Isaac Fraser. He's the first man that bought a new truck. And Daddy Knuckleberry was the second. But man, I tell you truthfully, I learned a lot from trouble, man. I just want to say thank you, God, man, for my memory. Because I tell you, every morning I get up, I take my phone, my 16 digits debit card, I find out what my bank is doing and stuff, like how my bill is coming. I'm telling you. That's it.
That and that clock.
Huh?
And that clock.
Someone said, who's
A
to give that
digital clock.
Did you give me that
Analog.
Huh?
And that analog clock. Keep you
Did you
sharp.
give us that catalog? That
Huh?
cat?
No, the clock. Like, everybody knows the digital.
Yeah, you know who gave me that clock was Russell. Russell's little cousin, that's who it was.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. But keep that clock. That clock will keep you sharp.
Joy to the world, the Savior is born. Our Lord has come. Every to the world, the Lord is come. Let every king, let every heart, let every moon, let heaven to sing, let heaven to sing, let heaven angels sing. One more time. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let every king, let every heart, let every moon, let heaven to sing, let heaven to sing.
Sing it again, Emmanuel. 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 His name is called Emmanuel. God in us, revealed in us,